YouTube is the best guitar teacher in the world and also the worst. Every day, guitarists scroll through hundreds of lessons, scales, tricks, hacks, all promising instant results, but most of it is out of order. It's kind of like drinking from a fire hose. You end up learning flashy licks before you understand what makes music actually work. And when everything looks important, it's impossible to know what to focus on. You start feeling stuck, even though you're working harder than ever. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. The 3 essential skills. I use 3 main skills every single week as a professional guitarist. And these are the same skills that pros rely on the most, the real foundation of everything that we do. Scrolling on YouTube and learning cool licks will only get you so far, especially if you don't have these 3 skills working together. In this video, I'll show you how I use them on an actual gig. We'll start learning a song with the number system. That tells you what chords belong to a key. And then I'll use the caged system to find those chords all over the neck. And finally, I'll show you how I use my landmark pentatonic system to create solos and fills that actually sound musical. You can download the diagrams and the backing track for this lesson by clicking on the link in the description below. Let's dive in. The number system, the foundation. The number system, or what's often called the Nashville number system, is the foundation of a song. It's what tells you how the chords in a key fit together. If you were strumming basic cowboy chords while someone sang the melody, this is what would make the song recognizable. It's the roadmap. In every major key, there are 6 main chords based on the first 6 notes of the major scale. The 1 chord is major, the 2 and the 3 are minor, the 4 and the 5 are major, and the 6 is minor, and that is the relative minor chord. This pattern holds true for every key, and once you get used to how each of these sounds, you can literally learn songs by ear even without a guitar in your hands. Last week I had a gig in Knoxville, about 3 hours from home, and I admit it, I didn't have time to learn 3 of the songs that were requested for the show. So, as ridiculous as it sounds, I learned them in the car on the way to the gig. With practice, you can start to hear the sound of the chords in the number system, regardless of the key. In other words, you can identify what the 4 chord sounds like. You'll be able to hear that a chord is minor, and then be able to figure out if that minor chord is the 2 chord, the 3 chord, or the 6 chord of the key. The more songs that you learn and analyze with the number system, the sharper this skill will become. Okay, so this first song is by a band called the Red Clays. I don't really know this band. I've never heard of them. It sounds kind of Americana-ish from the name, so I'm just hoping that it's going to be easy.
She comes from silver spoke boys,
Is it 1
spoke never solitary.
2 minor,
I come from blue collar, low down,
4,
out here with confidence, over there.
5.
And I'm done.
All right, and so they just played 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, 5, 1, 5. So that's like an 8-bar form, and almost all music is in 4-bar sections or 8-bar sections. And so I expect that there will just be a repeat of this. The next little section of the verse will be the exact same thing. The song's in 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to kind of chart out that line real quick. I'm just going to write it down on my notebook. Nashville style. So 1, 1, 4, 4. Sorry. 1, 1, 2 minor, 2 minor, 4, 5, 1, 5. Pauses for a second. So here's the Nashville style chart that I wrote for the song. Notice how each line represents 4 bars. That's the standard format. It was in the key of E major, so these are the chords that I'd play. First E, the 1 chord, 2 bars of that. Then F sharp minor, the 2 chord, for 2 bars. Then A, the 4 chord, then B, the 5 chord, then back to my 1 chord of E, and then end it with B, the 5 chord, and then the whole thing would start back over again. So once the structure is clear, the hard part's over. Now it's time to make it sound good. The cage system, playing chords anywhere on the neck. So this is where the cage system comes in, but not the overcomplicated theory-heavy version that you often see online. I use what I call the practical caged shapes, the ones that pros actually use on gigs. They're smaller, smoother, and way more musical. Let's take the first chord, E. So we've got the E shape of E. That's pretty obvious. Then I get the D shape of E. And I just move my D chord up 2 frets. That D shape connects to the C shape. This is the practical C shape. This is the full C shape, but nobody really plays that. Most pros simplify it into this simple 3-note version. Then you've got the A shape of E, which connects to the practical G shape of E. So the full G shape of E is a hand cramp waiting to happen. So most people use this smaller shape instead. And then I can take those exact same shapes and apply them to the other 2 major chords in the progression. So I get the A shape of A, which is connected to the practical G shape of A. And then I get the E shape of A, which I often play as this little smaller fragment here. And then where my ring finger is, that's kind of where the imaginary capo would go for the D shape of A. So the D shape of A, the D shape of any chord is 2 frets higher than the E shape. And the D shape is connected to the C shape. There's my practical C shape. Here will be the full theoretical C shape. And then I'm back to the A shape of A. I can do that exact same thing with the B chord. I get the A shape of B, the practical G shape of B, the E shape of B, or the smaller E shape of B. I move up 2 frets from this note. I get the D shape of B, which is connected to the practical C shape of B, and then I'm back to the A shape of B. For the F sharp minor chord, it's the same concept using the minor caged shapes. So we've got the E minor shape of F sharp minor. Then I got the D minor shape of F sharp minor, which is connected to the C minor shape. This one's an easy shape, but it's often overlooked. And then that connects to the A minor shape of F sharp minor. And then theoretically, I have a G minor shape, which would look like this. It's almost impossible, so nobody really uses that one. So I just skip that one, and then I'm back to the E minor shape of F sharp minor. So you don't need to use all of these shapes, but knowing where they live gives you a ton of options. Before I demo to the backing track, I want to show you one specific lick within caged that gets used all the time by pro guitar players, and this is sixths. That's a hard word to say, sixths, because the 2 notes that I'm going to play are 6 notes apart from each other in the scale. But I look at it as playing 2 strings out of a caged shape and skipping a string in between them. So if I look at the C shape of E, I can take the note that's on the D string and the note that's on the B string. I'm skipping the G string and I get these 2 notes, and I'm hybrid picking. You could use your pick and mute out the string in between. And then that is often connected to these 2 notes on the same 2 strings that are out of the A shape of E. And people often use this little 2-note fragment here as a passing chord in between. Those same 6 are available on the G and E strings, and that would be between the E shape and the D shape. So if I look on the G and high E strings, I get this out of the E shape, and this out of this D shape. And again, I can pass through this chord here can do the same thing for the A chord and the B chord. Here are the cage shapes in action. The landmark pentatonic system. Now let's look at soloing with the landmark pentatonic system. This is the foundation of how I solo and create fills over any chord progression. To find the two main shapes in E major, you start by finding the note E on the low E string. That's your root. But I need to put my pinky on the note E, so I'm going to play it at the 12th fret instead. If a song is major, you put your pinky on the root. If the song is minor, you put your index finger on the root. So I put my pinky on the root and I get shape number 1 of the E major pentatonic. We can move back 2 frets from the lowest note and I get the diagonal extensions of shape number 1. Then I can find the note E on the A string. That's at the 7th fret. I put my pinky on that, and I get shape number 4, the other landmark pentatonic shape. And again, I can move back 2 frets from the lowest note, and I get the diagonal extensions of shape number 4. If you can see those two shapes, you can move freely up and down the neck, hitting all the sweet spots without ever feeling lost. So that's what it looks like in real life, how the number system, the cage system, and the landmark pentatonic system all work together. These are the 3 essential skills that will actually move the needle for you as a guitarist. Once you have these down, everything else, songs, solos, even theory starts to click. If you want to dive deeper into these skills, I've got full videos on each one of the skills here on my channel, and there's a link down below in the description where you can download the diagrams and the backing tracks from this lesson. And there's another link to my course where I teach these 3 essential skills and give you fun and useful ways to practice them. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe, and check out this next video where I'll show you how the pros use these skills to make everything they play, songs, solos, all of it, just click. See you next week.